Greetings from the New York Bureau, kids. Luke, Snook, Seek, Repukes. How are you?
I just love you. You retweeted Mitch McConnell yesterday. You said, why, it's almost like you'd been better off with Merrick Garland as a boring moderate on the Supreme Court. When karma comes home to roost.
Well, they just announced, I don't know if you heard it, Washington Post just announced Trump's lawyers have reached out to Merrick Garland, and they said it was just a misunderstanding. Trump thought he was stealing the White House lunch codes. So
I see.
Purely a mistake.
I see what you did
He
there.
was hungry. That's it. Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy threatening Merrick Garland. You said, so you're saying Merrick Garland shouldn't flush any documents or illegally bring them home, and that he should be prepared to answer a congressional subpoena? Yeah. Weird, right?
It makes me long for the innocent days when Republicans were, denying insulin to sick people.
Yeah.
Then?
You said it best. You said, so far, the most unprecedented thing about the 2020s is our unprecedented abuse of the word unprecedented. Because this is an unprecedented amount of criming by... Yeah.
How many firsts can 1 week tolerate? I mean, first off, the search, not calling it a raid, because I'm not trying to, I don't want to feed into his martyr victim narrative.
Yes.
And B, calling that a raid is insulting to cockroaches. But also, I mean, this guy took the fifth 400 times in 4 hours this week. It's just, Ron DeSantis is so happy about this week, he's going to Disney World. He's the big winner.
I see what you did there, because he doesn't like Disney. Okay. You also said this marks the first time Trump supporters have ever cared about cops framing a person of color. Yes, that's also darkly funny. A dark orange.
I mean, that speech yesterday was just incredible. Yeah. I mean, I actually think the short version of the speech was, does Merrick Garland need to smack a bitch? And I've written a little poem for children to understand for Merrick Garland to read.
Oh, good.
Does Merrick Garland need to smack a bitch? Got all our stuff back without a hitch. You didn't know Merrick Garland's holding back a snitch. Merrick Garland doesn't care. This hack is rich. He'll blame his wife, that Slovak witch. You just got whacked. Go cry on Twitch. Don't make Merrick Garland smack a bitch. Thank you very much. That's my entire statement.
That's the kind of brilliance you're going to see at Sexy Liberal DC.
Absolutely.
September 10th, which is going to be lit. Glenn Kirshner on panel and some surprises, John. So secret. I can't even talk about the so sensitive, the intelligence on Sexy Liberal DC. I can't even say. Yeah.
Well, yes, we want to be very careful about that.
About special guests, yes.
Have you guys been calling it a raid or a search? Because my listeners over at What the Hell O'Clock are going back and forth on this.
It's a legally authorized search, and I love he said it was unannounced.
It was totally announced.
Right, like it's an invitation to... No, it's every FBI search is unannounced. That's the point of it.
Unannounced. I mean, first they asked for it back.
Yeah.
He didn't
Subpoenaed
give it back.
Yep.
They subpoenaed him. He didn't give it back. And they deliberately did it when Mar-a-Lago's in the off-season and it was closed, which is why we've seen no photos of any kind.
Yeah.
But you guys know every inch of Trump's Mar-a-Lago has security cameras. So if there was any ransacking of Melania's closet, anybody with guns out, any kind of raid behavior, they would have released the photos already.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally think they're just trying to fundraise off this as hard as they can until the next the next shoe drops.
Yeah. I mean, I love this. I mean, you responded best to the House, this is the right-wing talking point from House Judiciary GOP. If they can do this to a former president, imagine what they can do to you. And you said, good point. I'll be sure not to steal 15 boxes of classified documents from the National Archives so a judge can easily grant a warrant so they don't do it to me. I mean, really? Do they think most people can relate to stealing our nuclear secrets and perhaps sharing them with enemies? Like, really?
I'm just imagining. I mean, I smile. I imagine Donald Trump furiously beating Stephen Miller with the Trump Tower landline phone this week, and it gets me through. This level of criminality is only a shock if you've never paid attention to anything Donald Trump has done in his life.
Yeah.
His first mention in the New York Times ever in his life was for his criminality when he and his dad were too corrupt for Nixon and got sued by Nixon's DOJ back in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone who is saying Donald Trump couldn't possibly be a crook owes it to Donald Trump to donate to Trump University this week, because it's...
Well, I mean, all these people, I don't know who this guy is, some Republican for Senate. He has said, imagine the backlash if while he was in office, Trump had Obama's home raided and AOC's phone seized. Are you tired of the double standard? And you said he's right. And Obama and AOC totally got away with it because the double standard clearly favors politicians who don't steal classified documents or try to overthrow democracy. Yes. I mean, isn't that the neatest trick of his grift? This is about all of you. It's not just about me. It's like, no. None of the rest of us have done what you've done, right?
I mean, do we still think he's going to announce a run for president? You know, the DOJ has this made-up rule that you can't indict a president, but you can indict a former president or a candidate for president, and it's not going to forestall any indictments if he announces a run. I mean, at this point, we're going to be looking at, Joe Biden's going to be forgiving student loan debt this fall, and Donald Trump's going to be making excuses for this. It's just, I want to say I'm shocked, but I think it's going to get worse.
Steph. I do too, John. And by the way, just the whole party. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted, defund the FBI, and you said when Blue Lives Matter becomes the police. I mean, and they doubled down on that this morning.
All week. And here's the thing. I mean, if Jared Kushner got $2 billion from MBS in exchange for nuclear technology secrets, allegedly, they already covered up a murder for the guy. He should have given at least $3 billion. You cover up one murder, that's $2 billion. But the nuclear technology, you got to pay more. I wish I could negotiate this deal for these guys.
Yeah. By the way, we were saying this morning, Fox News, I don't know what's happening now, but they were not covering the nuclear secrets.
Right.
Aspect of this.
Oh, I know.
And you tweeted tonight on Hannity, Hunter Biden's explosive uranium-1 assault on Benghazi using Obama's birth certificate. I mean, your jokes are as close to the truth of what ends up happening on Fox News. Because when it's really bad, that's what happens. They just don't mention it.
Right.
But it's interesting because, they have cut him loose. I mean, Steve Doocy was the free speech hero of the week on Fox, and he took down Scalise.
Yes.
Rupert has already cut Trump loose in the pages of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post. So they're just running out the clock. Like Mitch McConnell and the GOP, they still have the same Trump dilemma. They want this guy gone, but they want his fans to stay and be enthusiastic for them. And that's all any of this is about.
Yeah. And by the way, could you take your organ out for me?
Right away, Ms. Miller.
My personal comedy Jesus.
Yes.
Bitch slapping him with the Bible.
Yes.
I mean, we're already seeing, not just the, what do you call the generics, Democrats pulling ahead, race after race, Fetterman's up 17 points. I mean, Roe was going to be the big game changer. Now on top of that, we have all this, but because you know stuff, I just love when you bitch slap him with the Bible. You said God is the least pro-life character in the Bible and demands the slaughter of children. And you list Hosea, 1 Samuel, 4 Kings, Deuteronomy, Isaiah, Exodus, Leviticus. You say number of times the Bible demands jailing women for abortion, 0. Boy, as you said, I think you tweeted that, John, that this is the dog catching the car.
I mean, a lot of people have tweeted it. The dog has caught the truck and thinks it's won something. But it's like, I'm ready for the Democratic Party to start taking the Bible back from these frauds and to start saying, hey, this book does not tell you to put women in jail like we're seeing in Nebraska this week, a mother and daughter, because they terminated a pregnancy. Not saying the Bible's pro-abortion, just saying Jesus' religion of Judaism, not against it. They're legal and free in Israel. I want to see the Democrats push back even harder because the majority of Americans, including a lot of Republicans, are against the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And it's about more than just a great catchy campaign issue. It's about women's lives. It's about not punishing poor women with greater poverty. And it's going to keep on snowballing. This, to mix metaphors, this car the dog caught is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And we get to watch them try to hang on to it for the next couple of years. This is the time for everyone to get so engaged because it touches all of us now. And Donald Trump is helping the Democrats so much. If you stinking liberals ruin this before Donald Trump can wreck Ron DeSantis, I will never forgive you. We got to give him time to tear the party apart. Only one man can do it.
Of all the Trump impressions, yours is my favorite because it is Marlon Brando with a head cold.
On Adderall. Yes, that's all I can do.
Okay. This guy, the man who fired a nail gun into the FBI Cincinnati building before he was killed by officers, was at the Capitol on January 6th. The man raised a gun. Officers opened fire. once again, Travis, I haven't heard them say anything about this morning. The Law and Order Party.
Another suicide by cop for Trump. He actually babbited himself.
Yep. Chris Wray decried Trump supporters who had been using violent rhetoric. Yesterday, he said, I'm always concerned about threats to law enforcement. Violence against law enforcement is not the answer, no matter who you're upset with. I mean, these are the people that ran on, Democrats wanted to fund the police. And now they have doubled, triple, quadrupled down this morning, right? On, they planted evidence, the police, as you say, it is, and now this guy, Trump's Truth Social scrubs the account of this guy, the suspect in the Ohio. Wow. He's posting on Truth Social, right, about this. Obviously, was because of the FBI raid. Mm-hmm. He was already at the insurrection January 6th. I mean. Yeah.
I mean, Truth Social is like MySpace for terrorist confessions at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the feds have to do is scan someone's Truth Social account. This guy said everything he was going to do. He announced it all right there on Donald Trump's site. Now, imagine if a pro-Obama militant had done this on Twitter or on Facebook. I mean, you'd never hear the end of it.
So it's like, he was tweeting.
They don't care about cops any more than they care about the troops, any more than they care about states' rights. They are the party of the human id, and they want what they want when they want it. And all we have to do is turn that selfishness on itself and let them tear each other apart, because that's beginning to happen.
Yeah. They think this was his Twitter account. Claiming he was there on January 6th. The account tweeted to Marjorie Taylor Greene, because it's all one.
Right.
I mean, the insurrections are inside and outside of Congress. He tweeted to her, "It's over. The next step is the one we used in 1775. Save your ammunition, get in touch with the Proud Boys, learn how they did it in the Revolutionary War, because submitting to tyranny while lawfully protesting was never the American way. Lexington." So he had it looks like he had the account on Truth Social, which they tried to scrub. He posted 2 days ago about killing federal agents, posted 8 hours ago about attacking the FBI. He appeared to have posted a message detailing his failed attempt to gain entry to the FBI building. He said, if you don't hear from me, it's true. I tried attacking the FBI. It'll either mean I was taken off the internet, the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops in. And again, I don't hear a word condemning this morning.
And again, like Ashley Babbitt, that man is dead because of Donald Trump's lie. That's the entire history of conservatism in this country. It is always the wealthy plantation owners will get the hard-working Southern white men to go fight their battles.
And by the way, he got killed before learning that his treasonous God was likely selling our nuclear secrets. That's who you died for.